What is up? What is up? Welcome, welcome. Yes, yes. Hope you're having an amazing day. Hope you're rocking and rolling. Let's take a breath. Let's take a moment and connect with the breath. So, yeah, let's take a moment and just be aware that you're breathing. Welcome to the live. Aloha. I'm Tom Kirkham, Big Island, Hawaii. What are your values based on? What are your values based on? You know, I was reading a post the other day, and actually, it wasn't a post. I was reading a post, but it reminded me of a video that I saw where someone said that your value is based on how many people you serve and how well you serve them. And I thought, well, is it? Is your value, is my value based on how many people I serve and how well I serve them? And so the reason I have that question was because I think that I have a sense that it's not, it isn't. And yet I also have a sense that that can be a very helpful thing. It can also be a not helpful thing to base your value on how many people you serve and how well you serve them, or any kind of external thing other than just your value. Like you're a human being and you have value. I was getting a little feedback on my YouTube mic, so I took the earpiece out, but I'm still wanting to make sure I'm speaking into the mic for those that are watching on YouTube. By the way, I'm Tom Kirkham, Big Island, Hawaii. If you don't know me, if you do know me, I'm still Tom Kirkham here on Big Island, Hawaii. And I'm a mental health counselor and an integrative health counselor. And I'm inviting you to be present and just connect with your breath, connect with your inner presence, be aware that you're breathing, take a moment out of your day. So, but I wanted to talk about this thing about where you get your value. And see, that's like where I get my value. Is not from the breath per se, but from the presence, from the sense of innate presence that comes from the breath practices and some other practices. I mean, it doesn't even come from those. It's awakened by those. I become more aware of it by those. And that gives me confidence in my innate ability to heal and less need for external validation and less anxiety and less fear and less worry. And see, that meets some of my needs and values because I'm a human being with needs and values. And once I started meeting some of those, there is a desire for responsibility. And with that, there is a desire to serve other people. In Hawaii, they call it kuleana. Kuleana, it's like your specific responsibility that you do to serve the community. And so that is a positive way in the external world, I I find, of meeting your value, kind of like mirroring your value in the world, and expressing your values. And that's, I think that's important to do. It's a way of kind of like integrating what's already inside of us into our external life. And that's great when we can do that. But when we go to do that, when we go to do things in life, we're going to have successes and we're going to have failures. We're going to have obstacles that we place in front of ourselves. We're going to have obstacles that seem totally random. It seems like life places them in front of us. And we're going to have moments where we don't get the outcome that we thought that was what we needed. And so where does your value come from? When you're in your biggest challenges, where does your value come then? Because that's the test of it. That's a test of it. I mean, another test is when you're enjoying yourself, where do your values come from? But when you're enjoying yourself and when there's a sense of ease, that's a great thing to actually expand on in your life. And that's one of the ways I helped create a sense of well-being after needing to overcome an illness that I was labeled with. And regardless of what the label was, I had experiences from that event. And so, but that's another story. But so I was recovering from a really complex case of what we call Lyme disease. And I say what we call that because it's more than the label. But I don't cure illnesses. I create wellness. That's how I solve the problem. Because I'm not a medical doctor, and the doctors, this is just my experience. I'm not giving any advice here, but they weren't able to help me. So I created my own sense of wellness. And I guess that's partly where my value comes from, is my ability to create wellness in myself. And I naturally want to share that and serve others. See, but my value is not based on something outside myself. Not really. And you could say your value in business is based on how well you serve others and how many you serve. And that may be true if you're in a capitalistic sort of mindset about business. It also could just be based on your posture around what you have to share and give. I mean, living is giving, right? But if you know that thing is valuable, you don't have to try to push it on people. Let me serve you with this. And you can visualize, if you will, those that need your service showing up. And where do those two things meet? Well, one place I think those is a question you might ask. And one place I think those two things meet is where you express them. How you express the way that you show up and you serve others, how you communicate the product, service, or opportunity that you value, how you communicate it, how you frame it, how you sort of frame it so that people can see that it might be something that might meet their need. Because people have different lenses, these different personalities that we have, and ways of looking through life or looking at life, looking at things as we move through life. But, you know, the post I came across right after I saw that video and questioned it, it said, if you only feel worthy when you create results in your business or in your life, you'll always be in a losing game. When you know no matter you're worthy no matter what, you become free. And I just thought that's so wise on the person who posted that. And I appreciate that so much. And I really think that's a great expression of the core value that occurred to me when I saw that video. By the way, this was a video that I shared. And so I think it's important to make these discernments, right, between something that might be useful in our business. It might even be useful in integrating some of the inner lessons we've learned into our life, which is an important process. It's an important process when you say go out and have some experiential therapy, some deep meditations, some deep visualizations. Then you integrate it in some way. You journal about it, you write about it, and then finally you actually incorporated it into the way that you engage with life. And it circles back around into your inner work and your sense of self. And you see that these inner values you're bound to have some successes. So you're going to see that these inner values that you have are mirrored in the way you serve others. But if your value is only based on how much you serve and how many people you serve and how well you do it, you're going to have failures. And in that moment, then you risk losing your sense of value. Especially if that's something you struggle with, your sense of self-worth, your sense of value. And maybe it's because we've been taught to place it on something outside ourselves. And yet there's a balance between that. And so I hope that's helpful. Those are some of my thoughts on valuing yourself. Let's take a breath again and be here now. Be with your breath. Notice as you exhale fully, the breath coming out your mouth. Inhale through your nose if you can. And really fill yourself with your breath. And exhale fully again. Notice any pause in your breath and the urge to inhale. And inhale again through your nose. Fill yourself up. Fill yourself up with the breath. And that's something that I really value. As I was saying in the beginning, that we're human beings, we have certain needs and values that are innate and intrinsic to us. And so to me, that's part of what you access with the breath and just with your presence. You get to some point, if you've been in some of my meditations and watched some of those videos, you get to some point where your presence takes over, and you don't have to pay attention to the breath. You're present with your entire being. And sometimes that happens in the pauses in between the breaths as those expand, or as the breath expands, as you start to breathe more slowly and deeply, maybe just spontaneously during the meditation. And so those are different things that might happen during some of the meditations. And you know that if you've been on some of my longer videos, like I said, or even if you might have come to some of my in-person meditations, as many years as that may have been, if anyone out there is watching this. But let me know where you are coming from. And maybe let me know where we first met too. That would be cool. But whether you're watching live or on the replay, #replay, let me know where you're watching from, and if you have any feedback, and feel free to message me if it's something private that you don't want to put on the comments. Feel free to message me or find me through the website or whatever. I'm Tom Kirkham, Big Island. I'm dropping things. Tom Kirk on Big Island, Hawaii. Thanks for watching this video. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you on the next video.